Okay, confirm you can see my screen, please. Please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so welcome everybody. First of all, we'll start with introduction. My name is Engineer David, uh, a project control specialist, uh, and also a planning engineer, as well as program manager for Aspog Nigeria. Uh, I'm very skilled in project planning, scheduling, controlling, monitoring, and tracking of project and progress deliverables. So that is that on that aspect. So I would like us to unmute and introduce ourselves before we proceed for the business of today. Thank you. Please unmute and introduce yourself, please.
My name is Engineer Emmanuel Taiwo.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a mechanical engineering background.
Okay.
I I sometimes went into project management, but I left back into manufacturing industries. So I want to go back into project planning.
Okay.
So I felt I should begin to upskill myself to develop into project planning and then scheduling. Yeah.
All right, Engineer Emmanuel, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're in the right place. You're going to get the best out of this class. Just trust the process. All right. Let me hear from other person. Please unmute and introduce yourself, please. Unmute and introduce yourself, please.
Okay, so good evening, all.
Good evening, sir.
Can you hear me, sir?
Very
Can you
well.
hear me?
Proceed.
I'm
Proceed.
trying to you can hear me. Okay,
Proceed.
all right. Okay. Yeah, Iboroma. So I'm an electrical engineer by background, but I currently work with oil and gas projects.
Okay.
So yes, I've done Primavera a long, long time ago before I even went into projects. So it didn't really make sense to me then. Now I know I need it.
uh, very well.
So I look forward to getting the best. Yeah?
Okay. Okay. So,
Thank you.
all right. So the next person should please unmute and introduce yourself, please. Okay. Yeah. All right. We're just two here in number, right? Okay. So today we're going to be uh, dealing with project management Primavera PC. So this is just the course content, fundamental Primavera PC's knowledge in oil and gas and construction life project. Normally, what I'm supposed to do is to go through the software direct, but it won't be fair. It won't be, I mean, it won't be good to just go into the software without giving us a background of project management, and because there are some terminologies that will come across in P6, in Primavera P6, that we need to, understand theoretically before knowing what it is in the practical aspect of it. So that's why I will just try as much as possible to, you know, treat this particular book here, Primavera PCs and Project Management. Just some major things that we need to. I might not run through all, but if time permits, fine. But there are some major things that we need to know. So before I move into the software, to be very, very flexible and easy for us, I'll give us this material as well as this project management in the oil and gas and industry, right? By let me see, by Mohammed A. L. Reddy. So that's that on that note. So what we're going to be doing pretty much is uh the course contents. That's number one. That's module one, introduction to Primavera P6, overview of project management and scheduling, introduction to project to Primavera P6, understanding the P6 user interface. We're going to do that. Settings, user preference and options. Then module two talks about the creating of a project in P6. Please hold on. Let me accept somebody. Let me admit somebody. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, so the model two, like I said, going to be talking about how to create a project in Primavera P6, then defining project details and settings. We're going to do that, and also adding activities as well as WBS elements, uh, creating relationship and logical link between activities. Then the model three, we're going to talk about resources and cost management. That's adding resources to a project, assigning resources to activities, defining resources, resource calendar. Then module four talks about the scheduling and baseline creation. We're gonna do that, as well as scheduling a project using PCs, then optimizing schedule using PCs tools, creating a project baseline and tracking of progress, then also updating and rescheduling projects. Then the five talks about the calendar, project calendar. I'm going to teach us how to create project calendar and also assign calendar to tasks, be it the project and database calendar or the global calendar. You know, that is that. And we're going to do this working through with live project. We're going to use a live project to do this, this practical. That's just on that. And if there's another thing again, miscellaneous, we'll see added up for this class. So, like I said, it won't be fair to just go into the software without bringing some fun. Let me accept somebody, please. Somebody's knocking. Okay. So, okay. Please mute your mic. Please mute your mic. Engineer Jonathan, please mute. So, like I said, Engineer Jonathan, please mute your mic.
I'm trying to sorry.
All right. So, like I said, it won't be fair to just go into the software without giving us some theoretical knowledge as regards to project management. However, what we are here to do just the fundamental principle or fundamental knowledge of Primavera. But I won't just give you just the fundamental. I need you to also have in-depth or basic knowledge of what project management is and why Primavera. Because Primavera is a tool, right? A tool of a project manager, to accomplish his task, in real time. So that's just please, Engineer Jonathan, mute your mic, please. Please mute your mic. So mute your mic, please. I'm recording this section. Once I'm done, I will send the recording to everybody. So then I move, like I said, let's just look at Primavera PC Project Management reference manual. Most of the things that are very important that we need to know. Let me go through this route. Okay. So understanding project management. Now, Primavera software products are designed to support the project management needs of organization that manage large numbers of projects.
Small.
Hello, hello. Please, can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Please mute your mic so that I'm recording this section. It is very important. All right. So, like I said, understanding project management. Primavera software products are designed to support the project management needs of organizations that manage large numbers of projects at one time. So that is the need of Primavera is because Primavera is a database software. So it is very useful in managing large numbers of projects, unlike a MS Project. MS Project is a file base. So that's the difference between MS Project and that and P6. Primavera is a database software, while MS Project is a file base, right? Primavera can handle multiple millions of projects, uncountable, right? So, how do you manage those millions of projects or thousands of projects? Now we'll get to see that. Now, this integrated application use project portfolio management, that's PPM, to support the management need of project team in different locations and at varying levels of organization. So the PPM, that's the project portfolio management, is where you store all your programs, multiple projects, right? You store you will get to see that in Primavera P6. So your multiple project is stored in the PPM, right? From the PPM, we have what we call EPS. EPS, that's the enterprise project structure, right? Is, let me use a layman language. It's like a house, just like where you are now. You are in a building, and every, let's assume that every property in that building are all projects. So that is EPS for you. So we'll get to see that, right? That's meaning enterprise project structure. So this chapter provides an overview of PPM, the roles used in PPM, and the basic concept for planning, managing, and controlling projects. Like I said, I will just flip through because I will send this so that I just want to pick out some major terminologies that are going to be useful while we do our practical from tomorrow. Very, very important. So, why using project portfolio management? Large business typically have hundreds, even thousands of projects underway at one time to create new products, services that build their future, right? Coming, okay, right? That build their future. Uh, these projects across normal business hierarchies and chain of command, making project portfolio management an organization wide challenge. The pressure to complete project on time and within budget and maintain a competitive edge is driving corporations to develop and implement PPM process. Like I said, PPM is a project portfolio management, right? Even where your EPS is being stored, your whole program, the whole program of the organization is stored therein, right? So that's just that's so let me just move forward. So PPM provides comprehensive information on all projects in an organization, from executive level summaries to detailed plan by project, right? Individual across all levels of the company can analyze, record, and communicate reliable information and make timely informed decisions that support their corporate mission. By putting the right tool in the right hand, PPM enables an organization to, number one, make strategic business decision. I remember PPM is the portfolio project portfolio management is in Primavera, right? I will get to show us that when we begin the practicals tomorrow. So just this class is mainly just to create awareness on what we're going to be seeing in Primavera PC, so we don't get lost and ask some questions that will draw us back. So we'll just move ahead. So if there's any questions as regards most of this terminology to be handled, if there anyone again that will emerge tomorrow, it will be solved, but it won't be likely to something things that we have done for today. So I move ahead. So like I said by putting the right tool in the right
Yeah.
hand.
I know.
Hello,
Huh?
please, please mute your mic.
You never do waiting.
Please mute. Please mute. Ah, promise, please mute your mic. Engineer, promise, please mute.
Okay, sorry.
Please. This class is on record. Please, engineer, promise. Okay.
Okay, just sorry. I didn't
Please,
even know it
please
was
mute,
on.
please.
Sorry.
So, like I said, by putting the right tool in the right hands, PPM enables organizations to manage strategic business decisions, control the minutes, details that is necessary to finish projects, understand current resource demand, set priorities, and evaluate long-term staffing requirements. So that's what PPM helps you to do. In other words, again, use skill resources effectively and productively, recognize projects to fit shifting priorities without sacrificing quality. Of course, you know what that means. If you sacrifice your quality in your projects, it is not successful. It will crash. So quality is very, very important in projects outcome, not just the deliverables, right? The deliverables is the end result that every stakeholders, each persons that is tied to the project are expecting. But the quality is very, very important than just that outcome, than just your deliverable, right? So that is that on that note that I move ahead. Your role in organization, this is just By definition, PPM must meet the needs of several type of users. The following section describe the role as they type and typically apply to Primavera applications. Rules may vary or overlap depending on the organization. So I will skip this place. Network administration. I will skip this place. I just need to bring out some major things that are very, very important. So let me talk about the database administrators. So database administrators, as DBAs, are responsible for setting up. Like I said, Primavera is a database software. It's a database, right? So let's take note of that. Primavera is a database software. While MS Project is a file based. That's different. Primavera can accommodate a lot of projects, multiple projects through the PPM, then to the EPS, right? So EPS simply means enterprise project structure. We get to see that when we start our real practical using the software tomorrow. So, like I said, database administrators as DBAs are responsible for setting up, managing, and assigning access rights for the Primavera database. I'll teach us how to, get use most of the icons in Primavera to set up these aspects, right? The as user preferences. So I will teach us that, which is very essential and important as we move in this training. So, like I said, they set and oversee rules governing use of corporate database, maintain data integrity, and set uh, inter interpre- interoperability standard. Then database administrators ensure reliable access to the Primavera database by one, installing and configuring and upgrading database server software and related products as required, creating the creating and implementing database, implementing and maintaining database security. We get to see that including creating and maintaining user roles and privileges for the database. We will see that before. Like if you want to log in, if you want to open your Primavera, you must log in. You must log in. So that's just what this aspect is talking about. You must log in. You create a password. We'll get to see that as we proceed. Then also uh, monitoring database performance and turning as needed, planning for growth and changes, and establishing and maintaining backup and recovery policies and procedures. So that's just us. So let's just look at. Let's move ahead. Okay, we will get to read this one on our own uh, program. Let me just talk about project controls and coordinator because at the end tomorrow we might find ourselves becoming a project control. Like I said, me, I'm a project control specialist. You might find yourself becoming a project coordinator. So let me see. Let's see your role here. Project coordinators are responsible for ensuring that Primavera applications are implemented properly and operate smoothly. So if tomorrow in future if you trying to look at switching your roles from whether project planning or project scheduler to project coordinator, these are what you're going to be doing, right? So project controls and coordinators are responsible for ensuring that Primavera applications are implemented properly and operate smoothly. They play a key role during implementation by number one, working with operations executives and program/project managers to set up methodologies in the method to set up methodologies in the methodology management model, right? So those are one of the things that are going to be you're going to be doing. Also, working with operations executive and uh, working with operations executive and program/project managers to structure projects. Coming to structure projects, organizational breakdown structure. That's OBS. OBS simply means organizational breakdown structure. So that's that. We see that in Primavera, and also resource hierarchies, set up basic calendars, define organization-wide custom field and code in project management module. So all these things are in Primavera PC. So your role as a project coordinator, you're going to set up all these things. Your OBS, you define the resource hierarchy, set up the basic and calendar. Like I said, it's part of what we're going to be doing, setting up calendar. right? And also define organizational wise and custom field and codes in project management module. So also you're going to be working with project administrators to create user accounts and user groups for the project management module. And also you're going to be assigning security rights to users in the project management modules. That's on that regards as what it entails. I mean, what's expected for you to do as a project coordinator if probably you become a project controls or operator coordinator tomorrow, right? So this is just one of the advantage of fundamental Primavera class, not just taking you on Primavera, but also teach you project management as well. You know, to integrate what you're going to learn as regards to the software. You know, so that's just that the program managers. Okay, let me just take this one. The program manager oversees projects, several high level project managers, right? They are responsible for multiple projects and use the project management and methodology management modules along with Primavera web application to number one perform cross project analysis, right? Also manage projects to on time. Sorry, manage projects to on time and on budget completion. Prioritize resources across projects and plan projects before they are funded. Now, this part is more like an advanced level, which I will advise us to after this Primavera class, which has to do with the analytical parts in project management. I will advise us to subscribe for that also because those are what program manager does. Well, however, as a project coordinator or a project controller, whatever, you're going to be reporting, you're going to be doing all those things, so you need it. So for this Primavera fundamental, it doesn't cover the aspects, but that's an advanced analytical class, right? So that's that on these program managers and what they do. So project managers, then project managers are sorry. So the project managers manage multiple small repetitive projects or a single complex project. That's what the project manager does. Manage multiple small repetitive projects or single complex projects. Uh, on this note, I would like to ask a question before I further ahead. Uh, what is project management? I would like to call on names. What is project management? Because I want the class to be very interactive. What is project management? Let me call on Engineer Emmanuel Taiwo. Please help us. What do you understand by project management? Engineer Emmanuel.
Yeah,
Okay, please help us.
yes, I'm with you.
What do you,
Project management is a field which manages the execution of projects. This execution involves from beginning to the end. It brings together the starting of the project till the when the project is commissioned and then delivered to the and it also involves a lot of change management, stakeholder involvement, cost management, and
okay.
then time management itself. That's what I know.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think that's right. I would like to ask other person to get more input. Engineer Autonye Iboroma, please, your own understanding. What do you understand by project management? What do you understand by project management? Engineer Autonye.
Okay, so for me, project itself, as we all know, has how will I say, definitive time and a specific deliverable. So project management is actually, guiding the achievement of just mentioned start and end dates, deliverable, and the resources. So basically, the management is all about using these resources available to you to guide the project from, start to finish within the
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
what's it called, bearing in mind the project expectation.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. That's a nice input. Also, I would like to call on please mute your mic. Engineer Jonathan Bauer, please. I need you to say something. What do you understand by project management? Engineer Jonathan, please unmute your mic and proceed. What do you understand by project management?
Yes, I can see studio management is an application process that analyze, process, that analyze the method, skill and knowledge and experience of a particular project. It's an application per se that analyze um, process and then um, let me say that analyze the skill, the knowledge, and then the entire value chain of a project from start to finish.
Okay, thank you very much. I think
It,
that's
it even
that's
it even give you the cost analysis, and then it even give you an idea whether the project is is going to be capex based or opex based on the project, if it's on process based or if it's on just normal project that is just done on a particular let me just say like a building is different from that of a
okay. Okay, okay.
process, something like that. Thank you.
It's okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for that brilliant response as regards to what project management is. So I would like to call on uh, Engineer Michael Omukafe. What do you understand by project management, please? Engineer Michael. Engineer Michael, please unmute your mic.
Yes, sir. Yeah, an application of processes, skills, methods, and experience to achieve specific project goals within an acceptable criteria of the project, because every project has a goal and there are acceptable criteria that guides the standards or method to achieve that project goal. So also it entails managing the people to also make sure that the goal of the project is achieved.
All right.
So you manage both people, resources, and funds, all of that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That's a brilliant one from Engineer Michael. Okay. Let's have Engineer Promise Amadi. What do you understand by project management? Engineer Promise Amadi, please unmute your mic and proceed.
Uh, Project management is actually a process of managing a project. That is, it includes both getting the specific from the beginning first, starting with getting the specific budget as the project required, ensuring that you do run within the budget and time, because it has to do with time. It's not just
Very correct.
you execute a project. So you need to run within a specific time and also a specific cost. So the process of managing both the personnel and everything, and also ensuring that, like one of the speakers said, mind that the goal, the entire goal of the project is managed depending on the kind of project, because we have different kinds of projects. So it's that ability to be able to coordinate and manage the entire process of a project and run within the specific goal and achieve it within a specific time as required.
All right. Thank you so much. That's a brilliant one from Engineer Promise Amadi. Okay. I have Engineer Kelvin here. Engineer Kelvin Igboin, please can you tell us your understanding of what you understand by project management? Engineer Kelvin, please unmute and proceed. Engineer Kelvin, please unmute and proceed. What do you understand by project management? Engineer Kelvin, please unmute your mic.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, sorry for joining late. I was on the last flight between Benin and Lagos.
All right.
I'm even still in the cab trying to locate my hotel. Project management is the use of skills in ensuring that the goals of the project is being met, as in uh, the resources, the scheduled plan is being followed, and that the project is delivered timely.
Okay, thank you very much. Everybody, your contributions are all valid. You can mute. You can mute, please, Engineer Kelvin. All right, thank you very much. all your responses are all correct. They are all correct. But however, according to PM book, right? So project management is the application. We should know that is an application of knowledge, right? It's an application of, you can't just talk about resources without talking about knowledge. It's an application of knowledge, skills, tools, right? And techniques to project activities to meet the project requirements. So it's an application of knowledge. You need knowledge, you need skills, and you need tools. The Primavera is a tool, and for you to use that Primavera called, for you to use that tool called Primavera, you need what they call skills and techniques, right? To project activities in order to meet project requirements. So that's just what project management is to most of us that have PMP. Of course, that's what PM book. It is standard. You need application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet the project requirement. So that's what project management is all about. So all your answers are all correct, but just to put that for the record's sake, according to PM book, because we are following PM book, and then we have to follow the process. So that's just that on that note. So let me go ahead from where I stopped. Okay. So that's just that. So I've talked about project managers and what their role is. Then we talk about resource cost managers. You see, as a project manager, you can be assigned to do both the costing, both the resource, whatever it is. But in a very big organization, they have what we call division of labors. All those things are splitted into different units. So people, different I mean, different personnel with different rules. That's just how it is. So this one now talks about the resource cost managers. So resource managers allocate resources across projects and distribute their workloads, right? So they are responsible for resource planning, including recruiting, hiring, and training resources. Now, we have about three type of resources. We have the human resources, we have the um, um, material resources, and we have the capital resources. The human resources are the persons, are the people, right? Then the material resources are your materials, also the capital resources has to do with the money, right? That's just that. On that note, so, like I said, resource managers allocate resources across projects and distribute their workload. They are responsible for resource planning, including so sometimes your material resources is also classified as non-labor resources. Those materials, human resources, which are labor. So non-labor resources also classified as material. All right. So that's take note of that. Is very, very important. So, like I said, resource managers allocate resources across projects and distribute their workloads. They are responsible for resource planning, including recruiting, hiring, and training resources. Right? You train your personnel on how to take up the role that he or she is expected to, designated to. So that's just that. And they may be responsible for loading resources. I will teach us how to load resources in Primavera P6. We will see that. Also, information in project management, methodology management, and web resource management models. Managers perform detailed financial analysis of projects, uh, handle project billing, and integrate financial information within the company. Now, note, as a project manager, like I said, big companies have division of labors. Small companies, as a project manager, you will do all these things. Even in some companies, the project planner does the costing. You do the project costing. You do the resource allocating. That is your job. Your project manager is just to supervise, is just to give you instruction what to do, then you implement. However, it is very essential, like I said, bringing this to our notice so that not just going to Primavera and I can just teach you Primavera, but without having this basic knowledge of what project management is and the fundamental skill that you need as regards to the theory, we won't do well. We'll just know the software won't do the work for you. It is the knowledge. That's why PM book tells us that it's an application of knowledge, not just skill. Is knowledge. what you know, you apply it with your skill, that you acquire in the Primavera pieces, and you need techniques to operate that software, because it's a very bogus software, which is very very cumbersome. It can even confuse you if you don't take time in some certain, note some certain icons. So that's just that. So having said that, team leaders also, team leaders manage the workflow. Listen, let me say this again. Project manager, you are a team leader. These are just splitted into different sections. Note that as a project manager, you are a team leader, and also you're a team member. You are a resource manager. You are a cost manager. Let me go up. You are still part of program. The program manager in a small organization. So it's not, let me just take my own part. My own is to manage resources, or my own is no. You have to know everything. It's very, very important and essential. So team leaders, team leaders manage the work for a portion of a larger project, right? They are managers who produce work and manage a team. A project manager, you are managing a team of engineers. You have discipline engineers like the mechanical engineer. You have the piping, you have the head piping, you have the lead piping, which is also at the head. We have the drafting technician, we have the civil structural engineer, you have the instrument I&C, instrumentation and control engineer, you have the electrical engineer, you have the, that's it. You have the technical safety engineer. So you have them, you have the team lead, and you have the juniors. That's just that. So as a project manager, you are managing team. You are managing those are your resources, those people, those personnel. They are your resources. Those are human resources. Then what they use in working are tools. That is non-labor, right? Those they are laptops. If it is typical design project, of course they need a system, which is laptop. They need software, whatever it is, whatever software that will be very very good in for them to execute their job as regards to design. Whether AutoCAD, whether 3D or whatever it is, you know, they need all those things. So as a project manager, you are managing both the human, the money parts of the resources, as well as the non-labor, which are your tools, right, and equipment. So that's just that you're a team leader. Take note of that. Also, you're a team member. So team members are trained in a specific skill them required on a project, right? As a project, you're a team member. You can uh go for trainings, right? You can, demand for training from your company. That's just it. You can, if you don't train, if you don't update yourself, upgrade yourself, you'll be outdated. That is project management for you. You need to be updated. You need this skill. You need to constantly engage yourself in upgrading what you have, as regards to the role you are being designated to. So that is just that on that regards. So I'll move ahead. Uh, okay, let me talk about the project management process. For those that are just coming, I would have gone ahead, start dealing with the software, but it won't be fair. It won't be nice to treat the software without taking us the theoretical parts of project management. I can open Primavera and start teaching us Primavera, but it won't be nice, right? I want a way whereby the class is going to be synchronized with what I'm presenting as regards to the theoretical aspect when I start the practical. So that's just the reason why I had to come up with this theory aspect. It's not part of the plan, but I have to come up with it so that to give us a solid foundation of what we are about to engage or learn as regards to the software. So that's just that for those that are just coming. So the project management process overflow. When contractors develop plan for a building, one of the first steps is laying a foundation. This is also a tool for building projects using the project management model. The hierarchical structuring of data serves as the foundation before addition of actual project data, right? So the following is a suggested sequence for setting up this structure. So these are just what it is. If when we start using the software, it is very essential. You must do this. It is very important. You set up the organizational breakdown structure, OBS. OBS. You will see it in Primavera P6. You see how to go about it, right? OBS, organizational breakdown structure, right? Which is the hierarchical arrangement of your company's management structure. For company that have already been existing for long period of time, they have their OBS. So you coming in as a project manager or project scheduler or whatever it is, project coordinator, you're not going to create this except it's demand for you to create, but you're not going to do that. What you're going to create using the P6 is the EPS downwards. So I'm going to talk about that. So let's talk about these are what you're going to do. Set up the enterprise project structure. That's what we're going to. So, like I said, this OBS might be omitted because most organizations they have that structure already. Except they want you to just replicate what they have in the system, then you produce it. That's all. But what you're going to do very importantly, like I said, EPS is like in a layman's language, like wherever you are now, you are in a particular. I mean, you are in a building, in a shelter, right? Building. Consider yourself, the properties in that building as a project. So the EPS is what is housing you, the properties there from rainfall. If rain is falling, whatever it is, so the EPS is covering you from sun, covering you from that's just what it is. That's what EPS is. So EPS accommodates those projects. So that's it. So EPS, we set up an enterprise project structure, which is a hierarchical structure that identifies the company-wide project and enables organization and management of those projects in your organization. So that's what it is. So number three, you set up your resource hierarchy that reflects your organization's resources or organizational resource structure and supports the assignment of resources to activity. You have to set this up. You create a resource because you have a resource diary. You set up those resource personnel, and you assign those personnel to their various tasks. Civil engineer, for civil discipline of course, civil deliverables will be handled by civil engineers, and civil lead, whoever it is, just civil engineers, junior, senior, whatever it is that your company has, just you assign those activities to them. Also, mechanical activities are assigned to mechanical engineer or mechanical lead, thereabout. That's just that. The project manager, what they do, project manager control in fact they handle everything. They handle both the resources, the project, everything, right? So project managers, their own is even cumbersome. You are managing everybody, including. So it is very essential you have a little knowledge of what the civil engineers are doing, or their deliverables thereabout, and also essential to know what the mechanical engineers are doing or their deliverables, as well as piping, mechanical piping, yeah, as well as instrumentation and control, their deliverables. It's very essential you know most of their deliverables, what they are. It's not as if you're the one doing the work, but you should able to know have that little knowledge of what they are, doing, what they are doing as regards to that project. It's very, very important. So, like I said, you create your EPS. After that EPS, you move down to your WBS. WBS simply means work breakdown structure. For each project, set up uh, the work breakdown structure, which is WBS, which is a hierarchical arrangement of the products and services produced during by a project. Now, before I forge ahead, I would like to ask us, because I want this class to be very interactive, what is the difference between projects and products? I will start with engineer Jonathan Bawa. Please unmute and proceed. What is the difference between products and projects? Hello, engineer Jonathan. Engineer Jonathan Bawa, please open your mic and give us your thoughts, your understanding.
Yes, product are deliverables,
Okay.
while projects are the 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 let me just say the work or the implementation of the deliverables. The product are deliverables, while the projects are the implementation or execution of the deliverables on their proper platform. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, engineer Jonathan. That's a nice one from you. Oh, let me call on Engineer Emmanuel Taiwo, what is the difference between projects and products?
On my own part, I would say project has a start and a end time. Like it has a beginning and a end. Why product is like continuous. It's like something that keeps on chucking out. Like it applies in every situation. But the project, it has a beginning and an end. That's my own.
Okay, so that's a brilliant one. Let me call on Engineer Michael. What do you understand by projects and products? Engineer Michael, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Project, like my brother has also defined, the project has a time frame, and that's why it has a beginning. I mean, a starting and the end. It's meant to start from here and last till so number of days, weeks, or months. But the the outcome of the project, and the product can be the result given birth to by the process.
Okay,
And but the project sets the process in order, and the process keep running. While
correct,
project has a start and a stopping
correct.
time, but the process keep running, and the result of the process is the product.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. So let me get some other thoughts. Engineer Promise, let me hear from you. I want this class to be very interactive, very very important. Engineer Promise, let me hear from you. Engineer Promise,
Just like the last week. Hello,
go ahead, please.
hello. Just like my friend that spoke last. Yeah, product is just the end of a project. That's after several you carry out a lot of activities that end up in producing a particular product. So product is somehow the outcome of series of project activities.
Very good, very
Thank
correct,
you.
very correct. Thank you very much. Let me hear from Engineer Kelvin Igboin. Let me hear from you, please. What are the difference between products and project? Engineer Kelvin, let me have your thoughts, please. And then, Kelvin, please unmute and give me your thoughts as regards to products versus projects. Engineer Kelvin. Okay. So let me just everybody your response are correct. You know, like I always follow PM book because that's the body of knowledge which is essential for me to control my projects. Right. So like all we all says, product is a the outcome or result of project. Very correct. Why project is a temporary and organized effort undertaken to create that product. You see that now? So projects are the means by which products are developed and they involve various processes, like we all said, phases and stakeholders to deliver the desired outcome. So we are all correct as regards to what the difference of projects and product is. I deem that very fit to bring it to our notice. So very very important. So let me proceed. So okay. So project control coordinators working with operations executive and programs like project managers structure the OBS and EPS. So as a project coordinator or a project controller or a planner, so you join the project manager, you liaise with your project manager, both of you. But however, the project manager will give you will designate that assignment to you for it to produce, for you to do, right? So you manage your, I mean, to create the OBS, also the EPS, you know, the enterprise project structure. So setting up the OBS first enables association of the responsible managers with their areas of the EPS. That's just on that regard. So let me just move ahead. There's no need for no need for. So we're talking about understanding project management. So, okay, planning, controlling, and managing projects, very very important. Now, before implementing Primavera into schedule projects, team members and other project participants should understand the processes involved in project management. Project management has processes and the associated recommendations that help smooth the Primavera implementation that supports your corporate mission. Very very important. There are processes that are involved in you know uh you know I mean implementing Primavera, right, to scheduling your project. So it's very important those processes must be followed, right? So if you want to plan a project now, like if you want to plan a project, the first thing to do, I wouldn't want to ask this, but let me just go, even if most of us doesn't know, but the first thing to do is to get the contract documents. Get the contract documents from from your project manager. Read through that contract document. Then what you now do as a project planner, you now liaise with the project team. That means the project engineers, sorry, the discipline engineers. You liaise with them for them to give you work package, which is WBS. WBS, that means work breakdown structure of that project. Remember, as a planner or as a project coordinator, you collect that package from them. You are not the one to draft that package. They will give you, and they will also specify timeline that this is what we want to achieve, and this is when we want to achieve this, because they're the one producing those deliverables. Most of us are mechanical engineer. I mean discipline engineers in various field. So what the project manager does, you as a discipline engineer, you will bring out the planners will come and meet you. Either the project, the PMO in general will come and will meet you. You will bring out the deliverables in work package. That means WBS. You split it down. In that WBS, you have the package, they have activities to be done. You have to now specify dates attached to it, start date, end date. This activity will take me 2 days. This activity will take me 3 days. You specify it in a spreadsheet. Planning, Primavera is just a tool for scheduling. Planning, you do planning with everybody, your team members, everybody you plan. So as a project coordinator, as a project planner, you are not the only one planning. Everybody is planning with you. However, you are the one driving the process. You are the one driving the process. When the contract is given, you collect the contract document, you read through it. Then the next thing to do is to get the scope of work. Once you get the scope of work, then you meet each, of course, the scope of work. If you see civil scope there, you know that you have to meet civil head civil level civil and discipline head to give you his or their deliverables as regards to that project, which he will give in terms of WBS and also the activities, which also are as assigning dates, timeline to each activities. He will give it to you as well as other disciplines. So you liaise with the project discipline engineers. They'll give you those things. Once they have given you those activities, your own is to use Primavera pieces and like project like the like PM book define project management skills, application of skills, knowledge. So you use whatever they've given to you. You need knowledge and you need to be skillful in order to use Primavera pieces to log in this information. You know, log in this information in Primavera pieces. You produce what we call program of work. So collections of different WBS from each discipline. From the mechanical discipline, they'll give you their dates, their timeline. Electrical discipline will give you their date and timeline. Civil engineers, of course, they will give you their date and timeline. Process engineers will give you their date and timeline. You will now collate it and arrange it and sequence it with Primavera P6. Each of those dates should be aligned, which they have what we call constraint, like the start time, the date, start time and end time. We'll see that in Primavera P6 by God's grace tomorrow. We will see that. I will show us how to go about that. So what you do, you get those things. Once you get those feedback from them, they will put it in Excel spreadsheet or Word document. So each discipline will give you their own start time. And like we know, the kind of methodology process, the kind of methodology that we use in our um, process flow in managing our project is waterfall. It simply means each activities are interdependencies, right? This activity must be done. For those of us in oil and gas, of course, process is very, very important. Process engineers, their deliverable is the first thing in a typical facility development or facility modification. Process engineers, their deliverable is very essential and very important, because without their deliverable is a roadmap for other discipline to follow. So what do I mean? Process engineer must finish their deliverable. Of course, is tied to, after process engineer, then the civil. Of course, the civil can come in. We need some certain things. They will need the output of a process deliverable to make his own input. So it's waterfall. So if you don't give him your deliverable or whatever it is that is assigned to that project, the civil discipline or whatever, they will not be able to forge ahead. The same thing ties to the piping and mechanical piping engineers. So they need the process, they need the deliverable of a process engineer in order to get what they need to do as regards to the 3D design. They need the output of um, um, civil engineer in order to make their input, right? So it is waterfall, it is interdependent. So you as a project scheduler, right, or as a project planner or as a project coordinator, you need to know these things. Okay, fine, this one will come before this one. You need to tie them. That is what we call linking. So linking, that's what we call it. You need to know how to link those activity to different activity as at the specified time by your discipline engineers, and also assign durations to each activities. I don't know if I'm clear. If anybody has question, please raise up your hands and proceed before I continue. I've said a lot of things. I don't want to confuse us. I'm trying to bring in some discipline engineering uh, and workflow, but it is part of it, because you need to know these things. Like I said, you need to know a bit of what they are doing or what they are to execute or what they are to do. You need to know a bit to be able to fit in into the role of a project planner or a project coordinator or a project control specialist, like I am, right? So you need to know a bit of what they are to do, so that you now synchronize everything together and tie everything using Primavera P6 to achieve that goal, right? So if we have any question, please kindly raise up your hands and or just unmute your mic and proceed, please. If you have any question, please proceed.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So far you are taking us through the step by step, which is for me is good for us.
Thank you very much.
But I have not seen the popular one out there. You see project engineer. So well, now we've seen controller, planner, manager, coordinator. Where does the project engineer comes in? I mean,
Okay.
where does it fit into? I just want to ask. Yes.
Okay, project engineer can take up the role of a project engineer. Simply, you are compiling different rules, both the project planner, both the coordinator, both the document controller. You are a project engineer. You are the one engineering the project. You can pick those combination of different rules together, compilation of different rules. But I was once a project engineer in a company I worked for. I took up the role of a project planner. I took up the role of a project coordinator. I took up the role of document controller. I number documents. This discipline, of course, when contracts came in, I pick up the specification and as what the clients want me to do in numbering those, and the normal process flow in numbering those deliverables to be produced by each discipline. I pick up that specification. I was able to number those documents based on client requirement. I was able to number civil. So, in engineering documents are, we have millions of documents, millions. Some of them, in fact, millions. So it is this numbering system that will help you to identify each. You see, sorry, I'm deviating, but it's part of the class. It is this numbering system that will help you to identify the particular deliverable, particular document. If you see a particular, the code are different, so it's very unique. Every discipline has discipline has its deliverables with different code, unique code. So I was able to number millions of documents. That project, I think that project That's the OMA 24. If any of us have heard about the OMA 24 project, was owned by Shell and sold to New Cross. I was engaged in that project. I was able to, join the project manager to number documents, millions of documents. At the end, the project was successful. So I took up the role of a project engineer. So I was the one doing the planning. I was the one doing document controlling. I was the one doing the project coordinating. However, the reporting aspect, I have to feed my project manager so he can do his reporting, right? I feed him so he did he from my own output. He put his own he add up his own input to do his reporting. So that's just I took up that role. That is what it is. I think I've answered your question. Combination of different roles together. That's a project. A project engineer can also be in the field, right? You're the one monitoring every workflow in the field. Both the civil engineer, you're monitoring the civil engineer, you are the one monitoring the mechanical engineer, you are the one monitoring the workflow, right? You work in line with the project manager. So that's just on that regards. I think I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Any other question, please? I need questions. It's very important. Before I just want us to grab this. Like I said, I might not be able to go through because I'll give us this book. It's not part of what I'm supposed to take us, but it is very important that I bring this to our notice so that when we start pieces, there are some certain things I've mentioned here. We'll start seeing it in Primavera pieces, so we won't get confused that this is what Engineer David has mentioned before. I don't know if I'm making sense. So that's why I had to come up with this theory. It's very important. You need to have the knowledge before the practical experience. When you have the knowledge, then post practical experience, you will deliver. So any other question before I proceed?
Hello, I have a question.
Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, with the knowledge of Primavera, you were talking about knowledge, skills, and tool.
Yeah.
With the knowledge of Primavera,
Okay.
are business able to commit to people that just have skill, fundamental skill on Primavera without long years of experience, maybe let's say 4 years or 3 years in project? Are businesses able to employ such people that are just starting in project management in terms of Primavera? Yeah.
Okay. Very good question. That's a brilliant question.
Do you get my question?
I got it. You can mute. So that's a brilliant question.
Okay, thank you.
They can employ you with the knowledge of Primavera, even if you don't have much knowledge in project. How? You have to go and educate yourself. You have to go and I'll give you material. This material that I will give to you, you have to read them, you have to know them. That's why when you have the knowledge, the theoretical knowledge, Primavera is just a plus to drive, to the next dimension you're looking at. So when you have the theoretical knowledge, it is very essential you have that theory part, right? Except most of us that had the opportunity, you don't even have that. They just put maybe your papa have that company or your brother or whatever. They all put you in and you start getting the practical experience. However, I haven't gotten the practical experience. You need to read. You need to study some things. It will open up your mindset as regards to project management. Project management is very sweet, honestly. It will open up your mindset as regards to project management. That is that. It will open up. So knowing Primavera, companies will also employ you if you know Primavera. It's also a plus when you have that experience. But if you don't have the experience, go and read up, have that knowledge, have that theoretical knowledge, technical knowledge, how it is done. So with that and with your little knowledge in Primavera, you can in fact you can tell somebody I have 2 years of experience, even if you don't even have experience. 2 years, they will believe you because why? You can flow fluently as regards to the terminologies that is tied to project management, right? And you can also use Primavera, even if you don't know how to 100%, you are good 50%. Men, they will employ you. They need because this the truth about engineering opportunity is a risky opportunity. You must be able to say, I want to take up, I want to take up this job and do it because they are not paying you 1 naira. They're not paying you 1 naira, and it's based on your experience. Aside based on your experience level, based on the way you put yourself, you have the market. You want to sell yourself in a way that you know your employers are going to value you. This person has something to offer. So you bring out yourself that you have something, even if you don't have, you won't tell them that you don't have practical experience. You have what we're doing now is if I do this, once we finish this project, it's a practical experience for you. So what project are you engaged on? This is a project I was engaged on using Primavera pieces. if they call you to do the same thing, you will still use that Primavera Physics to still do the same schedule, produce what you want to produce as what we will start tomorrow. That is just what it is. What I'm doing now and bringing this theoretical aspect is teaching you what you need to know, so that even though they have a question to ask you or something like, you'll be able to you'll be able to maneuver your way and defend your your status at that particular time. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Thank you very much. You tried.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
You see, thank you very much so far.
Okay.
I, I want to believe every one of us has done one way or the other, directly or indirectly, done project management. Because if you want to fix an electric bulb in your house, you want to replace, you know when to go and buy. When you buy, you want to buy so kilowatt, energy
Correct.
saving,
Correct.
and all of that. It's already part of the skill. I
Correct.
appreciate the book you are presenting to us. I mean, the manual you are taking us through.
Mm.
Practically, for me, I've been doing project management, but not just called a project engineer or whatever. But what I'm learning from this book, I see that I've been doing it. And if I read this book, break it down into structure, make a note out of it, maybe I will harness myself well. Now, the question I want to ask is that I didn't want to go and do PMI when I know I can read and pass the exam if I have the money. But coming down to the practical aspect, what will I do? Okay, I'll tell you my experience today. I spoke to somebody that I want to shift. I'm into field FSC engineering.
Okay.
And then I manage operations and I manage people and manage processes. That's part of project management, but I'm not called a project manager or project engineer. So I was speaking to somebody that
So
I would
what are you
like to
called? What are you called?
face project manager.
What are you called?
Well, I'm the technical coordinator or head of technical department,
Okay.
and I manage every process there.
Please, where do you work?
Now, but I got a question today.
Where do you work, please?
I work with an OEM from Belgium.
Okay.
I work with an OEM from Belgium.
Okay, proceed.
You're into industrial machines. So, okay. Now, so I spoke to somebody that I'm interested calling project management. I could take position of project engineer. And I got a feedback. The person he spoke to, he said they should ask me if I can use SAP.
Business
SAP.
SAP. Okay.
So I'm now wondering, I used to know project management with term of Primavera or MS Suite or Prince package. So I want to ask, this SAP, is it part of project management software or tools?
Okay, very good.
Or is it that you need to have a knowledge of all of them? Because an industry is telling me now that I need to know SAP. It's not asking me for MS Suite. It's not asking me for Prince. It's not asking me for Primavera. So I don't know. Now, you titled this lecture Primavera, oil and gas. So does it mean every sector have different package or software they use for project management in every diverse sector?
Okay, that's a good question. Now, SAP is a software. Is a software for managing processes in the organization, not just projects. It's a software that manage the organizational process, and the SAP company, they will come to install it. You can't get it free of charge. You cannot see SAP, right? They will have to come and install it in your organization, and they will walk you through, teach you people how to use it. It's not difficult.
Yeah.
Using SAP is not difficult. It's just Primavera is even difficult more than SAP. SAP is just open your LinkedIn. This is what to do. This is what to do. And SAP is not difficult. But you cannot get SAP. You can't crack it on your own, unlike other softwares. You have to. You have to call the company, SAP company. They will come and install it. Like our company now, we are about engaging them for them. It's just a process that even the account, the process, you're going to see the process, the account discipline. You will see them whatever. You will just see all those project discipline engineer. You will see everybody is just anything software that will integrate everybody together. It's a process. If a particular money is spent, you can put it there, everybody will see if you want everybody to see it. Do you understand? So it's a process that covers everybody in the organization. Do you understand? So knowing it is also advantage, is also a good advantage, but they must come to install it for you and they will teach you. Not as if you can go anywhere to pick it and start learning it. You must be in an organization that is using it, or you might have been in an organization that have taught you before to have that experience. But I tell you the truth, SAP is not difficult. SAP is not difficult. MS Project is far more difficult. I see MS Project as maybe little bit difficult than SAP, kind of. SAP is not difficult, so it's not a problem. Primavera is many organizations, aerospace, and big organization, oil and gas, construction, power. They use Primavera P6 because Primavera P6 can accommodate millions of projects. Do you understand? So I mean, you are very privileged. That's just the truth. In this for this training, this time of the day, you are very privileged to attend this training. Primera P6 is very, very, very important. Very, I know of somebody, a person told me that because of P6, I wasn't able to secure that job of about 500,000 because I no get and he's a discipline engineer. And he knows a little bit of project too. But because he doesn't know pieces, 500,000 naira job, miss am. Just imagine now. Not talk of me that I know programmer pieces, I know MS Project, I know SAP. They are different of them. Power BI and taking Power BI project control, advanced Excel, VBA, MySQL. Do you understand? So as a planner, also, it's just to encourage us. You need to know a lot of softwares. You need to know a lot of tools because today you can be using Primavera, tomorrow you'll be using MS Project, next tomorrow you'll be using Advanced Excel, other tomorrow you'll be using MySQL. You know, that is just how it is. You don't just hang on Primavera. Like after this class now, after this section, this training, we have another training which is called project management analytics. Very, very important. It is what we will do from this class that will lead to that will lead to that project management analytics, which I encourage every one of us to subscribe. Right. So that's that on that regard. So any other question before I move ahead? Engineer Mike, have I answered the question?
You have.
Eh?
Yes, you have done
Okay.
that. Thank
Please,
you.
any other question, please? I need questions because there's no need to be reading and I want us to ask questions so that we
Okay, so
can.
mine is just
Okay.
okay. So mine is just to add to what you have said concerning what's it called, software like SAP or and some other any other software. So if they specifically if it's specifically stated in the requirements, so what it then means, you look closely to your job description. Definitely, you will. I mean, you definitely use it very often. So SAP that I use in the office, different. Like I use it to monitor performer invoice to know if somebody wants to see. If you go through the system, you'll be able to see at every point in time where this performer invoice has got to. So let's say you have signed, you have validated, or you have released. It will go to maybe cost control. You will know when cost control releases it. You will know when cost control has not released it. So you follow up. So what it means is give you instead of maybe walking down to the person's office and be asking how far with this, you are seeing it real time. So from there, I get up to the manager, whoever that will release it before the final payment will flow and things like that. Same with the maintenance and maybe procurement as well. You want to buy an item for the project, you know at what point in time, who guess what, which table is currently in, what is delaying it. Sometimes I can call, okay, okay, I'm seeing this in your table. I've not seen it, so please check, whatever. So it's actually something you until you get to the final releaser, whoever, then, so that is, so for them to include it in your this, it means you do lots and lots of these things I've just explained. So it's not like, it's you are not going to be doing, maybe it's not like it's specific to organization, but then they look at it and know that this position you are coming for, you do more of this. So maybe that is why it is specified. Just to add, thank you. I use it sparingly anyway, but at least I know some.
Thank you very much, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
Angela Michael, now you understand what it is. So, like I said,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's integrated platform that integrates all disciplines together. Like I said earlier, you will see in document controller, you'll be everything that happens, you'll be seeing it in that system. Do you understand? But you need to know is that like what engineer Otoye said. It's one of the requirements because you're going to be using it often. That's what the company uses as a process to drive their deliverable or to drive their, execute whatever they are doing. That's what they use. Everybody, that's it. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be using other things. Even if you finish your PC, your Premiere PC, whatever, you can still upload it if you want to upload PDF. Upload it and send, and you do that. You can still do your schedule in SAP. Do you understand? There are some contracts your company we will have now, they will tell a company we need only Primavera pieces. They won't tell you SAP. It is your personal company that will say SAP. Do you understand? They won't tell you SAP. It's your personal company, not your clients. Your clients will tell you either P6, they will specify. Either you give them that program of work with using Primavera pieces, or you give them that program of work using MS Project, whatever it is that they want, they will tell you. However, the SAP thing is just for your own company. That this is what your company, if you're in company A, this is what company A is using to drive their process. The account departments are in that SAP, the project department are in that SAP, the engineering department are in that SAP, the operations are in that SAP, the procurement department are in that. So everybody are in that platform. You understand? Seeing in real time what is happening, just like on that's just what it is. I think that is very clear, Engineer Michael. Okay, so any other question before I proceed again? Any other question, please? If no question, just tell me to proceed. If you don't have any question, tell me to proceed so I proceed.
Please proceed from here.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. So it is very, very important that we know all those things. So let me continue. So project planning, control, I've talked about that. Okay. Like I said before you plan a project, you get the scope of work from the contract document. Read through the scope of work. What that scope of work entails, what the client wants your company to do. The scope of work can capture civil scope, can capture piping or mechanical scope, can capture safety, I mean technical safety scope, instrumentation and control. So if it captures about four disciplines, that means that is four discipline and that's four scope. Then you meet those disciplinary head. You meet them, sir. This is the scope of work for this project. Can you give me your work package for this project? Each of them, they will give you as a project planner, or as a project control specialist, or as a project whatever manager. They will give you the work package, which is work breakdown structure. Once they give it to you, they will assign dates. This activity A, they are starting it in this time. Activity B, they are starting it this time. Activity C, this time. So they will list all the dates accordingly, and the durations intact in line with those activities. Once they've done that, you will collate everything together, and you need skill using Primavera to tie up those, link all those activities together, and to make sure that the particular date, the time frame that is given for that project will be listed in that Primavera pieces, irrespective of their duration. You need skill to be able to do those things. I will teach us those things. Very, very important. So that is just that for project control. I don't want to read all through all these things. So let me just go down. So project planning. Let me go with project planning. So project planning a project, the first step, like I said, project management is to define your projects. Define your project. One, what is the project scope? I've not read this, but I have to tell you, that's it. The scope, I've talked about this in summary, but let me still go down. Let me still read it and for us to grab. So you talk about the project scope. What are the activities, what activities will make up the project, and what is their relationship to each other. Relationship has to do with tying them each other. Active, like I said, in the kind of process we do in our, I mean, in a traditional way, is waterfall. This one is tied to this one. Activity A must finish before activity B start. Activity D must finish before activity C start. Activity D is linked to this. These are just like I said what I said. Process engineers, they are they lay they bring forth they lay a roadmap for other discipline to follow. In a typical oil and gas design facility, your process engineer are the first people, and in fact they are the first people to even to finish their project. They are the first people to answer up while other disciplines are still working. That's the truth. However, they still need to be there to be doing review, to be reviewing most of the deliverables as regards to that project, for correction sake. So that's just that. Number two, I talked about deliverable. I talked about duration. So what are the project duration? So what are the dates when the project will begin and end? Very important. We talked about what resources are available to the project. The resources, like I said, we have three types of resources. We have the human resources, the personnel. You have the non-labor, which are the tools, or you call it material resources, right? Tools, non-labor, or capital, which is the money, right? So that is just that costing. Where you start doing those are money, those are resources. So that's that for that. So I'll move ahead. Um, what resources are available? Right? Okay, I've talked about that. So number four, who will perform what task, determining your labor resources and their availability, work hour. Of course, when we enter Primavera tomorrow by God's grace, I'll teach us how to create our work hours. We will know all these things. You know, work hours. You know, work hours is a key part of building a success. So work hours, the project, right? So you will also need to plan for downtime and holidays. Of course, we'll see that in pieces and how to set those things and put them in place. By God's grace, I'll show us how to go about all those metrics. So, okay, so downtime and holidays and determine the regular work week for various staffing types. We'll do that by God's grace. So number five talked about how much will project cost, project costing. Sometimes you as a project planner, you're not the one involved. Like I said, you have cost control, right? Sometimes your guy pata, your CEO, your management, they won't tell you this is the amount of the, but they will tell you manage. They will give you man. This is what you just manage this thing. You shouldn't pass so amount. So your own is to manage, but they won't tell you this is because some is it can be some of them might tell you that this is the amount we collected this project. But it's not compulsory for them to tell you, but you still also need to know, no matter what it is, so that you need to know what you're doing as regards to the costing, as regards to not allowing your project to sleep. You understand? So that's because any slippage in your project, I mean, it attracts more costs. Some activity that they needed to have finished within 2 days, and they now use 4 days. Of course, the man hour, that man hour is counting. That means your company will pay for the many man hour. If something like they're supposed to use about 2 days, and 2 days is 16 hours, right? They now use 4 days, which is 32, right? You know what that means? You see? So these 4 days, they'll pay for more 16 hours now. So it's very, very important that we know this. Instead of them using 16 hours, they use 4 days. They'll pay for more 16 hours. So you need to know how to manage those work hours, in real time. That's on that note. So I move ahead. So projects. Let me leave this controlling a project. So control the project. Once you have built your projects and estimated your budget needs, your budgeting needs, you save this original plan as a baseline. So baseline, once you've done all those things, baseline is the origin. That's the trash. I mean, how would I put it? The benchmark, right, of your schedule. The benchmark. I'll teach us how to do that. So a baseline provides a solid point of reference. It's a reference point, right? As your schedule changes over time. So it allows you to compare the original schedule to the current one and identify significant changes and develop contingency plan. If you have your baseline, it enables you to compare the the current schedule, to identify significant changes so that you put in place contingency plan. Because most of those things, if you don't put contingency plan, there are risk in your schedule. There are risk. That's when we talk about risk management. Do you understand? So talk about risk management is a different topic on its own. But as a project manager, you need to know about risk management because risk is also involved in your plan. If you don't manage your plan very well, it's risky. We have what we call critical task or critical activity or critical. So we'll see all those things from our pieces. Those are also risk. So you need to know how to manage all those things by creating a contingency plan, to mitigate those plans as you forge ahead with your project. So that's just that. Where am I? Okay, so you control a project. You control a project to keep it heading in the right direction. You will want to track work progress and costs, compare them to your baseline, and then recommend what actions should be taken, right? So that is just that. Let me move ahead. Managing projects. So managing projects, the process of guiding projects from start to finish is the responsibility of a project manager. However, take note of this. You as a project planner, It's the responsibility of project manager, yes, but you as a project coordinator is also your responsibility. That is the truth, because you're the one giving your. It is through your output that your line manager use in making his own inputs. It is what you give to him that he will use to tell management. This is, but some company, you as a project coordinator, you also interfere, or you also join the meeting when there is meeting. I mean, in the management, you join to defend whatever results you have as regards to your project data or whatever it is. So, but then in some organizations, they prefer the project manager to do that aspect. Why the project manager delegate those authorities? I mean, delegate those responsibilities. They're about to the project planner or the project scheduler or the project coordinator. So you are the one to do it. Then you report to the project manager. The project manager will interfere. You know, with the project the management team. you know that's just that. On that note, so a good project manager wears many hats. Yes, acting at various time as a motivator, communicator, coordinator, coordinator and advisor, right? As you control the project's progress, it is your job to keep your team aware of changes to the schedule and possible consequences. Yes, because sometimes changes might come as regards to maybe the client might, I mean, put a change of request. Let's say in a typical construction project, they want to build this side A, this side, let's say project A, in this corner, in the left corner, they need to put I mean concrete. They need to pour concrete, and maybe later they didn't pour concrete. It was not part of the contract, it was not part of it. But the client now come change of scope. Please, we need to put concrete in this. So whatever you've done in that part, in that project A, you have to demolish that particular portion and pour which will drag you a bit back, because you discover you have to do demolition in that particular spot and put that concrete before you proceed again, and it will change the work process of every other, because whatever work change, because every discipline are working together, it will change the whole process. It will do I mean about turn. To change the process. That's just it. So that's when change of request comes in. That's when such a you need to keep your project team and discipline. You need to keep your project team and your discipline engineers in the know as regards to that. Very, very important, so that everybody will flow will be in the same page. So that's just that. So as you control project progress, it is your job to keep your team aware of changes. Yeah, change of request from the client. Yeah, to to the schedule and possible consequences. So, in many ways, you are the project ambassador, ensuring that your project organization is carrying out its responsibilities for the best possible outcome. So, to be efficient, to be effective, and project manager also require consistency when you update your projects. Consistency when you update your project. Select a day each week or bi-weekly when you will regularly update projects. And when you update, you also report weekly. Just select a day. If it is Monday, let it just be weekly. So these regular updates will include progress on values such as number one, dates on which activity started or finished, dates when resources are consumed, then changes to resources rates. The change to resources rate had to do with money value there, monetary value, right? So we'll see that when we enter Primavera P6. So determine a standard policy for the update and scheduling procedure and for reporting progress. This aspect of reporting will do that's advanced. Of course, it's more of project management analytics, which after this Primavera P6 class, after Primavera P6, that's the next program that we intend to hold. So I would advise us to subscribe for it. It is very essential. It won't be good to just finish only Primavera P6 and not move ahead. You need to move ahead to know how to analyze project data. Very, very, very important, because you are generating data. Because as a project manager, listen, you are even a data analyst. As a project planner, you're a data analyst. But a data analyst cannot become a project manager. A data analyst is not a project planner. A data analyst is depending on the data given to him to analyze. But you, as a project planner, you are generating data and you are analyzing data. You see the difference now. So you have more job. You are more than just, I mean, data analysts. So that's just that. So determine a standard policy for update and scheduling procedure and for reporting progress. That's that. So the project management module provides many tools to assist you in reporting progress to both team members and senior management. Use the project website, option to create a center location where team members can view project progress. Just like Engineer Michael, right? You talked about the SAP. The SAP, like I said, the SAP software is that process where every members get to see things in real time. That's it. Whatever happens, whatever happens, that's it. You'll be notified if some activities or some tasks have been executed as at when due, that is just that's why some companies they want to have that SAP, as a process whereby everybody will be integrated together to see and to be carried along as regards to workflow. So that's just that. So also consider the many system reports as means of communication change. In addition, management can use Primavera's web portfolio management module to summarize project data and easily capture snapshot of how a project or group of projects is progressing, right? So as a project coordinator or a project planner, you need to know how to do analytics. It is very, very important because you need to know how to analyze your data. We are not going to do that in this Primavera class because this is just fundamental Primavera. It will be in the next program, which is after Primavera class, after this Primavera class. So that's just that. It is very essential you know these things. So a quick tour. So all right, so I'm done with understanding project management. Let me just look at a quick tour. Like I said, this is just a privilege to bring up this particular theory. It's not part of our scope, but I needed us to know about it before I hand over the document to you for you to read on your own. So, here's a quick. Let me just move ahead. I don't need to. Okay. Okay. So, like I said, primarily the database. So, the installation process guides you through setting up the module on your computer. Refer to the administrator's guide for details instruction. Start the project management module, click start. So all these ones will do these ones. So you want to start it, you need to create a password. Like I said, it's a database, right? Primavera database. That's PM, project management database. That's what these things mean. That PM, project management database admin. So you create your username and also login, a password. You create that in Primavera PCs. So this is just pretty much the setting. So I don't need to go to that far. Let me just touch a bit of um this oil and gas. Then I'll call it a day. Just a bit. I will send us this documents. Send us the documents. There are many things I didn't read up there, but I just had to bring up some important things for us to you know flow with. So let me just go to this. I'll give us this also. These books are expensive, but I'll give it to us. Project management in the oil and gas industry by Mohammed A. El Ready. So let me just go down to. I just want to pick out how to manage oil and gas projects. Most of us are in oil and gas, so let me just touch a bit. Then I'll give us so the principle of project management. The subject of project management has become one of the most common themes in the recent past, and that is due to the increase in the number of mega projects worldwide and the development of modern technologies in all areas of knowledge, which requires new methods of project management to cope with fast-paced development and developing to go fast-paced developing. So oil and gas companies are clear example of the difference between the concept of a project and daily routine operations. So these companies in most cases have an operations department and project department, and they should work together, right? So therefore project management is different from the daily activity operations management. So project management is different from project management. You should know that different from operations management. So thus most book and references that discuss project management define a project as a number of tasks and duties to be implemented during specific period of time in order to achieve a specific objective or set of specific targets. So that is just that. In operations management, production manager focus on the daily oil or gas production compared to the previous daily, compared to the previous daily, the previous day. So oil and gas production is measured by the number of oil barrels produced per day, right? So in that's produced per day in millions of standard cubic feet of gas. So the monitoring of production daily is very important to the present income of the company. So production management and project is a different thing. Oil producing company, they also have production manager because they measure their oil. They measure their oil as regards to the oil barrels produced in daily basis. That's it. So it's different from project. So building a facility that has to do with drilling facility, pipeline. These are projects. So once you're done with those facility, building those pipeline, designing it and constructing it, then the production aspect has to do with the daily production of that pipeline, whatever they are producing on daily basis. That's production. That's not the project. That's production. However, a project manager can also work as a production manager. Know that. So a production manager cannot, well, except he or she has read a lot. But a project manager, you can fit in different roles. You can fit in. So you have a project planner, project coordinator, you have advantage more than any other discipline, honestly speaking. When they are trying to downgrade them, some certain things in organization, you are not going to be downgraded. If company is trying to level up resources, you will be the last person to be leveled, because as a project manager or project coordinator, you are part of the management team. And tell me, if you are opted out of the management team, the management team will collapse. So you need to be there. Other disciplines will finish up their deliverable, finish up their activity, and they will go there, they will dismiss them, but you will still be there till they source out for that project. So that's the advantage. So it is very essential, right? It's very essential. So let me see. I think I don't. Let me not talk about this. I will give us this book for us to look. Project characteristics. Should I talk about it? I just want to pick up one more. Um, Coming. Let me see. Okay. Most of us that are not conversant with feed as front end engineering design, we will see that. Also detail DED. So let me talk about the life cycle. So then I call it a day. So the project definition is a set of activities that has a start time, period, and end time. These activities vary from project to project depending on the nature of the project. For example, a cultural or social project or civil project such as the construction of residential building, road and bridges, or industrial projects are different in their characteristics. Know that they are different in their characteristics. So in our scope, we will focus on industrial projects. Civil projects in general vary from project to project depending on the size of value of the project. It can be anything from construction, a guide room, to constructing a nuclear plant. Therefore, the quality varies depending on the size of the project, especially in developing countries. In a small project, it might be sufficient to apply a quality control only where small contracting companies or engineering offices do not wish to have a global competition. So, for example, increasing the quality will increase the project total cost, and if these companies have quality assurance tracking system, that will also increase the cost of the project as a whole. Believe me, this is true. When you increase the quality of your project, the cost will increase, because if you talk about the your quality is determined by the cost. Your quality of the project is determined by the cost of the project. So that's just that. Some kind of design you want, the money is involved. If you want some certain design, like say typical construction project building, your design, it has to do with based on the kind of amount you need to offer, right? Your design determines your amount. I mean, sorry, your amount determines, how will I put it? Your amount determines your kind of design. So that is just it. If you bring small amounts, of course, there are amounts that is feasible for some certain design. So there are amount that is, is not feasible for some certain design, right? If you want to build some like maybe ultra modern building, you know what that will be. Ultra modern building with a lot of facilities. That means cost to be involved. So that's just that on that note. So I will stop here. I will send us this material so we'll read, get to know more about oil and gas projects as well as Primavera PCs management. So we are very, very privileged to be in this class. Then tomorrow we'll move ahead, we'll enter Primavera P6. So once we are done with this section, I will encourage us to all put our email. Let it be Gmail. Type in your Gmail so that I will send the software to us this night. You send your Gmail, and probably tomorrow I will teach us how to install. But if you are a fast learner, you open up the zip file that I will send to you. You can look at the README file, follow the README to install the Primavera pieces. You just follow the README file to install it. It's pretty easy. So that's just the database. Follow the README file. But if you cannot, hold on. Tomorrow we will do that. But if you can, like I said, it's easy. Open the zip file, send it. You send your email to my in the WhatsApp group. So once you send your email to the WhatsApp group, I will send you the file. So you're able to start typing your email right now in the WhatsApp group. So once this class ends, I will, collate that emails and forward to everybody at once the Primavera PC software that we're going to be using tomorrow. So thank you very much, and thank you for attending this section. So open up your mic for question time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right.
Hello, thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you.
I see. So already we have two books or two materials you will give to us.
Yes.
The first one and the second one.
Very correct.
Okay. As a learner, which one should we read first?
Okay. Okay. First of all, now the books are different. I wouldn't determine which one should you read first. Let me show us again. Here's my mouse. Sorry. This one now. This one is Primavera Pieces, right? Which covers project management. Do you understand?
Okay.
Generally.
Mm.
Then this one covers project management generally using Primavera Pieces. This one talks about the oil and gas project management. Do you understand? Project management in the oil and gas industry. Me, I'm a project manager. So I'm a project planning engineer and control specialist. I can manage. I've done oil and gas. I can manage oil and gas projects. I can manage power generation. I mean, electric power generation is what I'm part of. What I'm doing, part of my portfolio. I can manage gas turbine projects. I can manage IT projects, development of softwares. Do you understand? So a project manager project you can fit in different way. I can manage any type of so long as it is projects. If you're a software engineer, you work on, of course, you work under your project manager now because I know what it is. I have knowledge in these areas: oil and gas projects, and construction projects, gas turbine projects, power generation projects, and as well as IT projects. I have knowledge in this area, as in real time knowledge. I'm also a consultant. So I will advise you to well, I wouldn't say if you want to start up with this one is basically to educate yourself as regards to oil and gas projects. This one is basically to educate yourself generally, both in how to use Primavera and what project, what project is and how to manage it. Do you understand? So that is just that.
Yeah.
The books are cumbersome, right? The book are cumbersome. It is not part of the class, but you know, I just had to uh, lay a good foundation, which is very, very important. I need to lay a good foundation, not just teaching us Primavera and after everything, of course you learn Primavera, but if you don't have this theoretical knowledge, even when I give you the book, it won't be useful. So I need to give us this knowledge first, then before we move to the practical Primavera class, which will start tomorrow. So that's it. All these things I've already talked about introduction to Primavera. I've already done that. So we will do all these things, how to create into all these we will do them, how to create our WBS, how to from module 1 to module 5 calendar will teach us how to do those things, how to create a calendar, assign calendar to resources and all that and that. So that is just that. So anyone you feel you can start up with, no problem. You can go ahead and you know read. So that's just that. Any other question? Any other question, please? Engineer Francis, good evening, sir. You're just coming. Hello, Engineer Francis. Hello, sir. Okay, Engineer Michael, is that clear? Hello, Engineer Michael.
Yes, it's clear. It's
So,
clear to me.
any
Yes, sir.
okay. Any other question before I call it a day? Any other
No, not
question?
for me. No.
Any other question, please? I need your questions so that it will help us. Your questions will go a long way to help us, please. Your questions, please. Once I'm done with this class, it's already been recorded. So maybe tomorrow I'll try and send it to us. I'll try and process it and send it to us.
Yes, please. We will
I'll,
need that
I'll
so
send
that
it.
while we are reading, we'll
Yeah,
be recalling. Uh-huh.
yeah. I will send it to us. No problem. I'll send it to. So any other question, please?
Okay.
I need questions, please. I can't call this a day before without answering any question. I need your questions. That will help most of us that to clear up some things. Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Engineer Kelvin.
Yes. Sorry, I've been trying to get settled.
Okay.
I wasn't too active in today's meeting, but I think I picked the key points. I
Okay.
just wanted to ask,
Okay, sir.
why is it P6 Primavera? What's the
P
acronym P6 for? Is it that, yeah,
okay, PCC is just they have initially they were using P3. It's just a modification of it's just a product modification. Do you understand? It's just a product modification. Initially they were using Primavera P3. That's the old version. Primavera
okay,
P3 as
okay,
they were using Primavera P. That was about 2007, 2005, 2005. They were using P3, P3, P3. Later they advanced P6, and P6 has version 17, version 19. Do you understand? So I'm going to be giving us version 19. Please, Engineer Kevin. Okay, so I'm going to be sending version 19, right? Which is very easy to install. So I encourage every one of us to uh, write our email in the group chat. Write our emails in the group chat. So once I'm done with this class, the first thing I will do is to copy your email and forward the software to us for installations. You can follow if for those of us that will want to try to install it, you can follow the README file to install the software, right? However, if you cannot install it, wait for me tomorrow. We'll go through that process and it will be installed. So, Engineer Kelvin, have I answered your question?
thank you very much, sir.
Okay, sir. So, any other question, please? I need questions. I need questions. I can't just call it a day without answering questions. I need questions. Just bring the question, anyhow it is. Ooh,
Okay. I hope so. After you have finished training us on this one,
okay.
and we'll go and read our books, and you give us the next training, which I already signify interest before.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
You,
yeah.
you were the one that
Yeah,
said, "Nah, I should take this one first." The next
yeah,
class you are taking is good.
yeah, yeah. Very well, very well.
After the two classes, now you now lead us to oil and gas company that you say they should take us based on you have trained us as a good teacher. You should recommend us.
Engineer Michael, it is well. It is
I
well.
mean,
No, no. Look, let me
yeah.
say something. That
Eh?
is yes. It is no. There are opportunities. Oh, honestly, the opportunities. Once you are able to know these things, you upgrade,
I
you
beg.
you update your CV, and you are good to go. However, let me use this opportunity because let me just use this opportunity to appeal to us. I'm a project consultant and project and planning consultant. So I'm also open for opportunity, right? In real time, be it oil and gas projects, be it power generation projects, be it gas turbine, be it construction projects. I'm also open for opportunities as regards to the. So if you have opportunities as regards to these areas I just called, I'm very skilled in project planning. I'm very skilled in controlling. I'm very skilled in project measuring the progress of projects and reporting. In fact, project control as a whole, I'm very skilled in that aspect. I'm also a consultant, right, as regards to project planning, control, scheduling, reporting, and monitoring. So that's just that. Let me sell myself a little bit. So, any other question, please, Engineer Michael? I hope that is clear. So it's there are opportunities even
Hmm?
in this group. Also,
It's clear.
you can also indicate interest that please, will anybody that have opportunity, this is what you are able to do.
Yeah, there
Uh-huh.
should be room for networking.
Yes, of course.
Uh,
That is part of that's why we're here. You can network as well. You can network. You just made it known to the house that you are good in this. Somebody who knows, somebody can ask, okay, send me your CV. Just like the way I'm even moderating this class, somebody can just chat me up, okay, send me your CV. And I will send my CV. Maybe tomorrow I'll be in Shell or Chevron or any big company by God. So that's just that. You can't tell.
your eye is big, oh. You
Don't
get a follow eye, oh. You get a follow eye with that.
so don't undergrade this training. It's very important. This it will take you far. Honestly, it will take you far. It will take you far. It's good to aim high now. If you don't aim high, what else again? So long as you can deliver, that's the main
Yeah.
thing. If you cannot deliver, that's when you be scared. You can deliver, it's fine. I have a lot of projects that I've worked on. A lot of projects. Presently, there's a project in Chad that's in 32 megawatts projects. That will be power generation. I've worked on OML projects, OML 24 projects. Of course, that project has already been concluded. It's a design project that took about 3 years. So now I'm working on a power project as a power generation project. Also, I've done project on dual power generation, both diesel and gas. So right now, working on project 32 megawatt project in Chad. That project was conceived to caution poor electric power supply in that region, and it's an HFO project that's heavy fuel oil. So to tell you what it is, so that is just it. I have read more and I have practicalized these things. That makes it suitable for me. So the knowledge is very important. Like we define what project management is: knowledge, application of knowledge, skills, and it's very important. Any other question, please? Any other question, please? Any other question, please? If no question, somebody should uh adjoin this meeting for us. Move the motion so that we
You need
adjoin.
somebody to move motion.
Yeah, move the
To move
motions.
motion, Abi.
Move motion. If no other question, just move the motion so we are joined. So tomorrow, by God's grace, we'll have this recorded. We'll just have it. So that's it. So
Okay, I move motion for adjournment. I need somebody to second us.
who will second us, please? Seconded by who, please?
I second.
Okay. So on that note, we'll call it a day for today. So tomorrow we continue with our training. So tomorrow is going to be practical. I'm not taking the theoretical aspect again. So, but however, I'm going to present this record tomorrow so that we can go through it, and also send us tonight. We're going to have this um uh the materials sent to this to the group chat so we can download it and start going through them as we proceed. So thank you very much. I appreciate your presence. Thank you very much. See us tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah.